Well, I met Andy in 1966. I was at a party in Boston, and he was introduced to me by Rene Ricard, actually. And he invited me to come to the factory. I was finishing my last year in high school, so I was in boarding school in Maryland, so that was also the year I got my first magazine cover, and I was making tracks to the factory as soon as possible. It was quite a year, 1966. I took my first acid trip. I lost my virginity. I was a debutante. I graduated from school. I left home. I moved into the Chelsea Hotel and started hanging out at the factory with all the amazing people that were there. I'd say it pretty much exploded all the comfort of my youth.
We'd been busted by the cops, Brian Jones and I'd been, Paul McCartney and the Beatles rescued me, and I was living at Paul McCartney's house when the phone rang, and the late Robert Fraser, who was a great friend of ours, said, "Can you bring Paul McCartney's 16mm projector over to use at my apartment because we're showing Chelsea Girls?" And that's the first time that I beheld the beauty of Susan.
And it was just an incredibly anarchic and free time. It was beautiful, really. I mean, freedom was what I wanted so much, and I had so much adolescent passion. I just wanted to be seen and be out there and play. Play, play, play. So we did. We went to parties all the time. I used to see quite a bit of Gerard Malanga and Edie. Edie was one of my favorite people. But mostly I would go to parties with Andy and pose in the corner because I wasn't much on conversation. The factory was silver. That time was before Andy was shot, and it was very different. It was a very free-flowing time. It had a kind of mystery to it that was intriguing to me. And I was overwhelmed with the amount of brilliance and of people there and what was happening. It was so good. I loved the Velvet Underground so much. I met Nico that year.
So David, so when is the first time you met Susan then?
She was doing a movie for Andy Warhol. She was up on a platform, like a mannequin, almost like a mannequin coming to life.
You know, Susan, there is a story I wanted to tell you. A while ago, I had a friend of mine who called me the night before he died. And just to check on how was my children and, you know, how I was. And so he called up and he said, "How are you doing, Michel?" And I said, "Fine." "And how are the children?" I said, "They're fine." And deep down, I knew that he was going to die in a matter of a few days or whatever. And I felt this kind of weight on my stomach, you know, this kind of knot turning me down because I couldn't say to him, you know, "Man, I know that you're going to die." But one thing that I told him, I said, "Why you and me, we never made any compromise. Why you and me, we were always like dogs and cats, and we used to stand, you know, from each other and work." But and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it, you know, don't worry." And I said, "You know, I wish I was going to be the one making this compromise." And he said, "First, now you have a duty to take care of your kid, take care of your family. Everything is going to be beautiful for you." And he said something like, "And you're a star." And that broke my heart. You know, I had tears, you know, down my cheeks. And obviously, I couldn't sleep all night, and the day after I went back to the editing room because I was finishing a movie. And a friend of his called me up and said, you know what, he's gone. He's gone. And that left me with this taste in my mouth. And it was like I understood what it meant to have a friend, you know, because I had a friend.
That's so beautiful, the way he called you before he died, though. What a beautiful thing to do, no? For me, I mean, I've had so many friends die. It's almost like our generation had some kind of war or something, you know? But like Edie died, and Nico died, and Danielle died, and Andy died, and Waze died, and Zoli died, and all my friends from that time we talk about. And the thing that gets me the most of all is that I can't ever say anything to them again, you know?
Death and Susan seem like a paradox, an impossibility. They don't fit together.
I can't talk anymore.
Anal sex.
What? Really, I think that you've got some incredible nerve to be approaching me on this thing all the time, really. You know, you've got to back off a little bit, you know. I'm so impressed by your cooking. It's really good.
Mm. So you like my pasta, right?
I like your pasta.
Mm.
Yeah, you're a very good cook.
I'll try.
Well, you succeed.
Do you remember when we went to this restaurant in Main Street? You know, Chinois on Main?
Yeah?
And, you know, it was, I don't know.
I told you I don't want to talk about this. I can't believe you're talking about this.
Well, I think it's a very, 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 very funny story. And I still like it. And I believe that if I talk about anal sex, it's only me who's talking about it.
You really want to tell this story, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to communicate this story? Go ahead then, go ahead. You tell this story.
I think it's a very funny story.
You love it.
All right, I love it.
Go ahead.
I love to see the fact of two guys. I mean, you know,
you really have a need to communicate this,
exactly.
don't you? Okay.
Yeah. And I see this guy and this girl opposite, and they are very hard for each other, right?
Yes, they
and
were.
they are trying to schmooze each other. Totally. And they are horny for each other.
They were like this, and
they were
in each other's eyes,
exactly,
and touching each other.
Exactly. And what do I do?
You start talking about?
Anal sex.
Yes.
So big deal. And
yeah,
they
but
move,
you spend so much time. Why do you put so much energy in affecting those people across the table? I mean, you know?
Towards these guys and taking the hand and this guy moving, and I saw the horn underneath the table. I said, boy, man, you know, they're going to fuck each other to death, you know, so that's America.
What's America?
The country of freedom.
People in love at Chinois on Main?
Yeah, well, this is where you take your best girl there. I mean, the dinner is going to cost you about $125 for two, so you better make sure that, you know, it's the right girl.
I met her outside a screening room, and I was looking for a cigarette, and she was just standing there against a wall staring at me, and she had these really big eyes and like skin like a doll, and she just started talking to me and telling me about Andy Warhol and all her time and her wigs and her makeup and her clothes. And it was really weird because I thought I could have fallen in love with her. This really strange feeling. It was like an admiration, but kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a love for beauty or something. She was just standing there like a doll.
Oh my God, you're too much.
You like when I'm looking at you, don't you?
It's okay. I took drugs for most of my life. I loved the freedom they gave me. I love what they gave me. I had a chance to express myself in ways I couldn't possibly do otherwise. I was really a very shy, frightened person who was courageous and outgoing when I was high. I would do things I can't even imagine doing and don't even remember doing, okay?
This is the way I can picture the whole fucking story. It's you ended up totally passed out, you know.
Well, do I look past that to you?
I want to know from here, right in here, why do you have this kind of contempt when you are talking about it? I mean, this is what you are doing.
No,
you are contented about it.
You're uptight. I mean, you know, there's not a shred of kindness in your voice. I'm telling you something that's so incredibly difficult, and you have not a shred of kindness in your voice.
You know, there is no point to be upset about it. There's no point to cry about it, because everybody wants in their lifetime they're fucked up big.
Yeah.
Okay, all I want from you is you tell me the truth. That's what I want.
I've told you the truth. And I just can tell you one more thing, is that drugs fucking hurt, you know? They hurt.
Okay, fine, you should be very happy now, but now you are totally beautiful, all right? You are clean, all right? You are clean. That's what I'm saying. So don't get upset.
I think everyone is slightly damaged. Every human being, everything is slightly, and nothing is perfect. Don't forget, people were experimenting then with drugs and things like that. There was just sort of mixing things. People were, you know, floating around us, creating music, you know, like the Velvet Underground and Nico.
And it finally all came to pass. New York, the Taft Hotel. What a night. Unforgettable.
Suzanne, what are you doing in the bathroom?
What?
Come on, don't close the door.
You're too much. You are too much. Why are you making this movie about me?
Because I like you. I think that you are funny and you are truthful.
Are you sure this movie is about me? Are you sure
Come
it's not
on.
about you?
Well,
Why don't you take off your glasses?
I don't know, because my eyes are hurting for the time being first. And but this movie is really about you, not me. I mean,
May I help you take off your glasses?
I do that. Voila.
Do you like to pry into people's lives? I wonder what it is about you that makes you like to dig into people's lives.
Because I just like to, you know, pick up a bit of the truth, you know.
Pick up a bit of the truth? Is that what you think you get?
Yeah.
You think by being provocative you pick up truth?
I don't know, I mean, does that movie is embarrassing you? Does that movie is embarrassing your life? I mean...
How do you feel when you make people cry on camera? Does it make you feel good?
Well, I never asked them at the first place.
Do you like it?
It's not that I like it or I don't like it. I think
But you actually enjoy getting a big reaction, don't you?
No.
You just like a truthful reaction? Is that what you're after?
No, we need some real emotion. Therefore, I mean, whatever you talk about love, sex, drugs, and you've been through to the maximum about all these kind of things, you know. And on top of it, you know what? Do me this favor.
You like the blah, 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 too. I think you like to
Well,
talk.
this movie is about you, just you know. Guess what Richard told me last week?
What?
That International Velvet was a drag queen living in Park Avenue.
No.
Yes, I swear.
No.
Yeah.
C'est pas vrai, Michel.
Yes, it's true. And at the same time, you know, I'd like to know why you chose a name like International Velvet, the epitome of drags.
Barbra Streisand sings this song called I'm the Greatest Star, and at the end of it, she says, no autographs, please. No autographs, please. What do you think? Pretty girls are going to stay in style forever? I should say not. Soon they're going to be out. It'll be my turn. And I hope it will be.
No, I just wanted to be free. I just wanted to find out all the secrets my family was keeping from me, and I didn't want them to find out what I was doing. I just wanted to be free, that's all.
I remember when I first saw Susan Bottomley in Chelsea Girls, I went, oh, Elizabeth Taylor. She was like, to me, she was the Elizabeth Taylor of the undergrad. She was exquisite, you know. Matter of fact, I went home and I dyed my hair black. Ugh, never. And I used to wear my eye makeup. I kind of still do, like she did. And I just remember how beautiful this girl was, and I wanted to be part of the Warhol and the underground. And she was, because I used to emulate her. I wanted to be like her.
Flower. Beg your pardon?
Michel,
Sorry.
this one?
No. Don't put this. Try the...
This one. This
No.
one. You
Try
want
to
this one? I have two. This one?
I like this one because, you know, it's better for you to wear white because it's, you know, much cleaner actually. Go back to the window. Well, thank you. Well, you look beautiful like that. Okay. Do me this favor, try to remember that we'll be using some of this when we go to Paris, okay?
Okay.
Could you remember that?
You want this white shirt?
This one when we're in Paris, and this one maybe...
No, that one's for you.
No, but that's fine.
Try
But this
it
one I
on.
like it when we go
It's
to
fantastic,
the
this
south of France scene. You know, Sue, don't you think it's amazing? I'm looking as well on this movie, and the first time that you came here, you know, they were playing it on HBO, and
Yeah.
I was very touched about it because I couldn't believe that I'll pick up a movie where
With
your
my
father
I
is
know.
being played by Henry Fonda.
I know.
How was your dad?
You know, when I first saw this, I didn't like Henry Fonda's performance at all because it wasn't at all like my father, I thought. Because my father was so large. And of course, to a little girl, your father is larger than life. But he had such an enormous personality, and he was so humorous and laughing all the time, you know, smiling and warm and totally a politician.
We don't do that
But after I watched it the second time, that time he got it, I saw really that he got something actually quite amazing of my father, that real, you know, true blue American who works in public
Kind of
office.
right wing, no, no.
Right of center, but not really right wing. You know.
Not a right wing like we have in Europe.
It makes me sad, really.
What
Can
did
I
you-
rewind? Give me the...
Okay.
I want to show you this part with...
Yeah, but what did your dad thought when you left Boston and you ended up at the factory when you were 17 years old and hanging out with all these transvestite and these night birds?
I just know he came to New York to see me an awful lot. I can't imagine what he used to think when he was walking around the Chelsea Hotel.
Did he knew that your name was International Velvet?
He never said. I don't think so. I had that name so he wouldn't know what I was up to, so maybe he didn't. But I had my name in the papers all the time, so I don't know. But it was New York papers. He didn't get them in Boston.
Well, but I can imagine.
But knowing my dad, he probably had spies following me anyway.
No spies, maybe some detective.
Yeah,
Because of
exactly.
being, he was the assistant district attorney?
No, assistant attorney general. Yeah.
So therefore, you know, he must have had some, how you call that, some FBI agent, some CIA man, you know, and going in the factory.
No. Yeah, maybe. I know
No?
he used to like to pull strings.
Did you broke his heart?
I can't get this in here. No, I don't think I broke his heart. I think I frightened him. There. Yeah. See?
Oh, man.
No.
Do you miss him?
He was so true blue. Oh, my God. Sometimes I see the way hair curls on the back of a man's neck, or I see a father and a son together, and it just...
I know, I know.
Well, I first met Suzanne at this trendy bar I work at in Venice, and we serve a lot of drinks there, but she doesn't drink or smoke or do anything like that. And after a while, I started to talk with her, and she's very quiet. And we started to talk about acting, and she's an actress, and I'm an actor. So we started working on this scene called Taming of the Shrew. And I am Petruchio, and she's Catherine, and it's this play about male domination, and it's wild. I mean, in the first scene, the first take that we did, the first rehearsal we did, she just slapped me. I mean, and it was such a great thing, and it got me so motivated. And I said, if you strike me again, I swear to God, I'll cuff you. And she said, oh, if you cuff me, then you are no gentleman. And it was amazing.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting. If I be waspish, if I be waspish, best beware my sting. It is my passion when I see it. It is my passion when I see it. You love it, don't you? You love it.
You don't have to scream. You don't have
She
to
has so much rage, this woman, and she has to keep it so contained because she's so oppressed by men, right?
Well,
and along comes this guy who thinks he's got just what she needs, who thinks he knows just how to handle this woman, and that enrages her, completely enrages her. So what does she do? She slaps him. She hits him, right? She barks him. Yeah, but you can't. Yes, but you can't hit me, you see, because if you hit me, then you're not a gentleman, then you lose. It's hard, isn't it? Do you want to hit me?
Yeah, I love to.
Yeah, you think you can dominate me and master me, huh? You're going to kiss me? Never.
Well, tell me more about when you went down in Cannes. That's what I want to know. I mean, what was this dirt about?
Well, you know, it was a mistake for us to take her to Cannes because she stayed in Europe. She didn't come back. She didn't come back very much. I mean, she did come back, but then she went back to Paris and modeled, and we really didn't, you know, find enough good things for her to do, that's for sure. She appeared in this long experimental movie called 4 Stars. She was in a lot of scenes, but the movie was very unfocused, to say the least. And we really didn't get a chance to use her well enough. But she...
How many movies did you make with her?
Oh, I have no idea. These are experiments. These were all experimental reels, and they were put together and called a 24-hour movie. They were shown only once, because it's very hard to show 24 hours of double screen, which is 50 hours of film. And that's all, besides Chelsea Girls. Chelsea Girls, she appeared in that.
You know, I was alone and sitting on the terrace of Le Deux Margots, and from the other side of the street, from the drugstore, comes crossing a girl that really took my attention, you know. She was like very beautiful with a very little black dress on and a little black doggy in her arm and very high heels, trying to run across the street. And I said, wow.
Oh, that's right.
So that was Susan, and she came right to me, you know, and we sat down and talked.
I was shopping one time at 7-Eleven, and this woman comes up to me and she says, honey, ooh, you look like a film star. You're very tall. Then she said, do you cook? I want you to try this. This is so good. I cook this for my husband. I've been married 40 years, honey. Are you married? I said, no, I'm getting a divorce. She said, a divorce? You don't want to get a divorce.
Was she in love at the time? Was she in love at the time?
Yeah, she was married with Tony Kent.
She said, honey, you have your ups and your downs, but you don't get a divorce, because next time it's just going to be the same thing. You take it from me, you take this home, and you cook this for your husband tonight. There'll be no divorce.
Okay, get off, I got it.
And I got a divorce.
Suzanne is a nice lady. When we say hi, we say hi. We help her every time.
When I was 17, I had a magazine cover with the caption, Over the Hill at 21. When I was 20, I was too old for L covers. When I was 25, I was going to lose my career because I was getting old. I mean, really.
Come here. Look, in the light. Oh, look what I do. Look, 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 look. I take this off here, take this off here, and I spin around like that. How does it feel to be 45 and getting old?
I found Susan cerebrally attractive because she had led the lifestyle and gone through what I hoped to go through and been a part of something that I wanted to one day become a part of.
Did you know that before?
No.
Sono tutti sfumitati questi ricordi di questi anni quando ho incontrato Susan. I know that we were in Paris with Deborah, Tony, her husband, and this great crowd, which is oddly enough had this amazing synchronicity because years later here we all are again, if we're not dead.
Couldn't have been nicer. Sweet, nice, friendly, positive, cheerful. Never a problem. Chelsea Girls. Chelsea Girls has the distinction of being the only film, I'm sure, in the history of Cannes was invited and then they refused to show it. They were afraid somebody had said a dirty word or there was a second, half a second of nudity or something. And they treated us like real dirt.
Darling, where did you go in Utah in 81?
Well, I hit the wall, really. I mean, I was shattered, just broken, completely broken. I know now that you can die of a broken heart. I went to Utah to see my brother and I was too depressed to leave, so I just stayed. And
Is it something happened to you on the past before when you used to live in Europe?
it was everything, but really it was love.
Well, welcome to the club, right? No?
Yes. Yes. I just really loved being with Andy. He had this magic eye that looked at you and you felt magical when he looked at you. At least that's how it was for me.
Well, you know, with Andy's Bananas, the big silk screens of Bananas, the sexuality was always there, the undercurrent sexuality. But isn't it always there anyway?
We'd been busted by the cops, Brian Jones and I'd been, Paul McCartney and the Beatles rescued me, and I was living at Paul McCartney's house.
Well, you know, it was a mistake for us to take her again because she stayed in Europe. She didn't come
To me,
back.
she was the Elizabeth Taylor undergrad. She was exquisite, you know. Matter of fact, I went home and I dyed my hair black. Never.
We love each other, maybe still a little in love with each other, maybe a lot. And I think we share a lot and hopefully continue to share a lot.